Hello and welcome. My name's Michelle with PaperStampInk. Thanks for stopping by today. I want to share with you these cute Post-it note holders with a slider closure. So here's one of the samples that I made that slides right over. You can open that up and your Post-it notes are inside. Isn't that a fun little gift item? You can give to your coworkers, maybe teacher at school, just something pretty to have that you can use personally as well. So let's go ahead and get one business keeping piece out of the way, or a couple before we get started. One, if you like the projects that I sure would appreciate it if you would subscribe and tap that bell. That's going to make sure that you're up to date when I post new tutorials and ideas so you don't miss out. Then I also want to share with you a special today. So 10 free ink pads. Does that sound good to anybody? Got a little smudge on mine there. So 10 free ink pads is what you can get as signing up as a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator this month. That's good through July 31st. If you've ever thought about it or have questions, I'd love to share with you. I'm going to provide a link for my business page as well as a link to how you can sign up as a demonstrator. But you get to pick any of the 10 of the color collections, so any 10 pads that are part of the same color collection or both of the in color collections. You get those for free on top of the other benefits. You sign up for $99. You pick $125 worth of products. The ink pads, free shipping, a paper pumpkin kit comes in your starter kit, and it's just a fun opportunity. So whether you want to do it as a hobbyist or start a business, I sure would love to have you as part of my team. Now let's go ahead and grab our paper, stamp, and ink. This one actually can be done with very minimal supplies. So out of one piece of Pacific Point, 8.5 by 11, I am going to be able to get 2 of my projects, my bases for the Post-it note holder. And then I use the 6 by 6 Garden Impressions paper, Designer Series paper, 2-sided. So we've got both sides going here. And I can get 2 out of one of those sheets as well. Now don't forget that Designer Series paper is on sale through the end of this month. You can select from the majority of our Designer Series papers. You can purchase 3 and get 1 free, so it's a good time to stock up. That's our paper. I also have a couple little punches I've gone ahead and punched out for us. 2 of the little Pacific Point pieces, 1 Whisper White, and a scalloped piece of Poppy Parade. And I used the circle dies for that. So there's a great set. It comes with scallops and smooth circles, and they all step up just slightly, so you get a lot of variety in there. You get, what is it, 16? No, pull this over here. You get 16 of these, so 8 scallops and 8 round circles. These are Lane Circles framelits dies. So it's a great addition to your Stampin' Up! Toolkit if you don't already have that. Now for the stamps, we are going to use 2 today. I'm going to pick from this A Good Day, which if you haven't seen this, I think it's kind of an overlooked stamp set in the catalog often, but it's got some great little sentiments. All of these will fit on those circles, so if you like to add accents to your cards in circles or maybe gift projects, these have some fun little sentiments, a little treat for someone sweet if you like to give treats out at Christmas time or other times of the year. A lot of different seasonal ones. Isn't that dear? She's just adorable. So I'm actually only selecting from this one today to use this stitched circle. And then I picked from the Serene Garden set this butterfly stamp. And this is another one. This is a great set for coloring if you like to color. It's a very peaceful, well, serene, I guess, set. And then we're, of course, going to need Post-it note holders for our Post-it notes. For the ink, I am going to use Pacific Point and my basic Tuxedo Black Memento. And then I'm going to use some of our Stampin' Write markers to do some coloring. So that's what I have for our ink. And the one other tool we're going to need is the classic label punch. So this is a very handy item to have. A lot of the sentiments, especially in that, what is it, the tiny greetings, or itty bitty greetings set, has a lot of sentiments that will fit right in there. So let me go ahead and get my trimmer out and let's get started. That was a little noisy, so sorry about that. Let's cut this down. We're going to cut this to 3 1/8 inch by 9 3/4. These go together so quickly, especially if I'm not talking while I'm doing it. So you'll be able to crank these out a lot faster than in my video. So now we're going to do some scoring on this. So make sure you get that cutting blade out of the way so you don't accidentally cut instead of score. And I'm going to score this at 3 1/8, 3 5/8, 6 3/4, and 7 1/4. Now here comes the slightly tricky part. We're going to flip this over and I am going to line up my score line. And I don't know, hopefully you can see that here. It's a little bit difficult to see maybe on the camera. I'm lining up that last score line at the 1 inch mark. Okay, so I've got that lined up at 1 inch. I'm going to come in and just make a line right there. And then I'm going to line that tick mark up that I made with my pencil. Using the pencil, I can erase that when I'm done. I'm going to put this edge that corner right along the track there. So you guys can see that there. And that's going to get me my angle for my cut. Now, you want to make sure that you're not starting your cut from down here. Because this is at a point, you're likely to get not a smooth cut. So I always, if I've got an angle piece that I'm going to, I always start in the middle or at the top. So we're going to just come right in here and make that cut. We'll set that aside. And let's go ahead and do reinforce our scoring. And look at that, we've already got the base piece done. This piece, that is a 3 by 3 piece, I'm just going to go ahead and glue that on there when we get the glue out. So no trimming necessary for that. Then I cut this piece down to 3 by 2 3/8. Okay, now we want to come in here, and we're going to come in here at the 7/8 mark. Oops, 1 7/8. I don't want to do that. At the 7/8 mark here, make my little pencil line. I'm going to keep that lined up, get my corner piece in there, right down in that track, make my cut, and that is going to give me the proper layering to have a slight border on that front panel. And that's it for the trimming. I've already pre-cut with my Big Shot and hole punches these pieces to save us a little bit of time. Let's go ahead and get this glued down. You can do both sides the same color, or you can, or same side of the paper, or you can flip them over like I'm going to do here to get a little bit of a different look. A bit easier to line these up if, oops, my camera is right in the way of where I want to be looking straight down on this. So it's a little easier if you open that up to put these papers on. And I'm going to do the floral side up here. You are going to want to pay attention if you've got directional paper and be a little careful as you do your cuts to make sure you've got facing the way that you want it to face. All right, so there's that. I'm going to set that aside for a moment. We'll come back in and use the hole punch in a moment, but let's go ahead and do our stamping and coloring. So I need my Memento black. Stamp that down there. And then I'm going to use this circle, stitch circle that came from our A Good Day stamp set. I just think it's kind of fun to have that circle outline. I'm going to line this up best I can without getting my head in the camera there. There we go. And we're going to pull out some markers. We've got Pacific Point and Poppy Parade are our main colors in this paper in the background. So I think I'm going to use those again for coloring in my butterfly, and I think I'm going to use the Fine Point. These markers are great. They come with a brush tip and a fine tip, and since this is a pretty small surface here going around the edge, I think I'm going to use the fine tip to keep myself from going out of the lines. Now, if you don't have the Stampin' Write markers, of course you could use colored pencils, or one of my favorite things, because I don't have all the sets of the markers myself, one of my favorite things to do is to use the blender pens. And if you don't have those, they're a great addition. This is what the blender pens look like. You can put your ink in the lid of just smush these and get some ink in the lid of your stamp pad, or you can use an acrylic block to transfer the ink, and then you pick it up with this and it works as a marker for you for basically any of the colors of ink that you have. So they're a very versatile set, definitely well worth investing in. Let's finish coloring this. Now, I am a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, so if you are interested in any of the products that I'm using, I sure would appreciate the opportunity to earn your business, and I will have a link to my store in the description below. As I said, we've got that great deal on the Designer Series paper going right now, in addition to, I think I said that, maybe I didn't tell you that, so if, in case I missed it, you can buy 3 of our sets of Designer Series paper. It includes most of the sets, not all of them, but that information is on the website. And you can purchase 3 and you get 1 of those for free. So some great specials going on right now. There is also a special on the paper pumpkin kits, where your first month, if you are not a subscriber already, your first month is 50% off. And that information is on my website. If you're not familiar with paper pumpkin, then check out some of my videos, and I will have some information on showing the kits, as well as how I come up with alternative projects for the items that are in the kit. All right, we're just going to layer that on there. And let me close this up before I forget and end up making a mess. Going to bring in our classic label punch. And now I am just going to bring this all the way in there. I'm going to push that in, so that's going to help me make sure that I can line my second punch up much easier. Okay, so I'm going to bring this in the wrong direction there, and this is where you are going to need a pen of some sort. Is more helpful than a pencil to be able to see, and I am just going to make a big blob mark there, and that's going to help me to line up. That's going to be cut out, so don't worry, I didn't just mess up my project. So let's see. All right, that's blending in a little bit. I could go and use a white gel pen or something too on some of these pattern papers. And there we go. So now we've got our slider on both pieces, and we just need to finish the assembly. I'm going to bring in some of our dimensionals, and we're going to take 2 of these small circles that I punched out. And there's really not a specific size you have to use for this, so use what you have in the way of punches or dies for your die cutting machine. It just has to be big enough that it doesn't fall through that hole. And of course, you don't want it too big to cover up your entire project, but that's up to your personal preference to how big that might be. And then I'm going to take a dimensional and put on the back here. Slide that in. And let's put our Post-it notes in there. Post-it notes, one of the best inventions ever. And I love all the bright, fun colors. So you can really have a lot of fun with this, mixing and matching the colors of your Post-it notes as well as the holders. So it's completely up to your imagination and whatever you want to put on the front. As you saw, I did some of them where I did, this one I did just for you. This one I used a little bird image. You could put a monogram, maybe somebody's initials on there, and really personalize it up. So there's a lot of options for how you want to make this, or finish it off, I guess I should say. All right, and then let's line this up here. And I just want to center it up and down, left to right between those score lines. Close that, oops, close that up. And voila, there we go. Isn't that fun? Thanks for tuning in, and don't forget to subscribe below. I'd love if you'd comment and share with me which is your favorite of the designs that I did today. So let's just say 1, 2, 3, and 4. Give me a comment. Let me know if you enjoyed the video. Give me a thumbs up. I sure would appreciate it. Thanks for tuning in, and stay creating.